Hello guys, how are we doing? Today's video is going to be a Berlin control, but before we get into that, did you enjoy the little highlight reel at the beginning of this? It was a couple of clips I managed to get for gameplays that probably aren't going to be put out, so it was a little bit of a mini montage on Berlin. I know some of the clips are from Hardpoint, some from Control, but none of them were from this game, and I wasn't going to create a gameplay of them myself, so I thought, you know what, let's just put them in a little bit of an early montage at the beginning of the game. Yeah, so was there any that you enjoyed out of that? Just as I pick up a clean little three-piece there, sort of three-piece. Yeah, anything, if you like that sort of thing, let me know and I'll include it in the future videos. But yeah, let's get into the video. So, Vanguard Season 3 Ranked came with an addition of a new map for Control, which apparently was tested by the pros, and it is Berlin. So, essentially, you've got, as you can see, B control point in P1, and then A control point in P2. It's a wacky old map. I've had one of my placements. Oh my god! Look at this bot movement right there. Would have been quicker for me to just run around. One of my placement games was on this map against some really sweaty challenger players, and it was just chaotic. Like, it was kill die, kill die, kill die. It was just chaos. We hadn't managed to get the dub, but yeah, chaos. Now, I'm stuck on this map. I like how it plays as long as nobody spawn traps. If there was a GA somewhere that said people don't spawn trap, fine, it's relatively enjoyable. The games where I haven't had enemies spawn trapping me have been enjoyable, but it's very easy to spawn trap. I mean, I'm trying to sort of semi-do it right here because I'm going for the win, you know. But I think they have adjusted the spawns on this map since they initially dropped it, so I don't think the spawn traps are quite as bad. Because essentially what you could do beforehand, like when it very first dropped, you could sit fire, top fire, sort of like P3 area, and just farm them in the back. Like, they'd have to run through you to get to B, and it'd just be chaotic. Now, they may have adjusted the spawns. I don't know whether you guys have noticed the difference at all. But yeah, this video is basically going to be me going through my thoughts of the map, as well as offering the tips and tricks I can provide, you know, to make sure you can get the dubs where possible on this map. So, when you're offense, cap B first. That would be my biggest, the biggest tip for you guys is cap B first if you can. It's hard to give tips because people haven't mastered offense or defense yet, and I'm just giving you a quick insight in how to get these early wins for you. And I think if you're playing offense, make sure you cap B first. It's an easy one to, well, I say it's easy. A is very easy to get when it's the only one to get. It's easy to get anyway, to be fair. So, and B's that little bit harder. As it is on any control map, B tends to be the one which is a little bit more challenging. So if you can get to B and cap it first, you're going to be laughing. Happy days, really. Yeah, so that'd be my suggestion. By the way, I'm still struggling with lag. I don't know whether you guys are struggling at the moment at all, but I am still struggling with poor connection. So at some points I'd shoot someone 3 times, and I wouldn't even get a hit mark. It's just one of them things. But hey, this video is not about moaning. This video is not for that. So yeah, on offense, cap B first where you can, and then it's easy enough to cap A when needs be. But yeah, if you go on a 4-man, it's easy enough to do. But if not, just type it in the chat, say B ? And hopefully your team follows suit. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure where the spawns are just yet. I think I've only played this map 3 or 4 times, to be fair. So I'm not entirely sure where the spawn trap is. The only reason I'm offering hints right now, even though I haven't got that much of a game knowledge, as I haven't had that many games, is simply due to the fact that everything I'm giving you here are tips that I have used, and it's worked nearly every time. I say every time because I've only played 4 maps, probably every time. So if you go offense first on B, get a couple of ticks, you're happy days. Worst case scenario, you don't get it, but you still get a couple of ticks. You're laughing pretty much, because then it takes them that much. You know, as you get defense on ticks, you're more likely to get defense that way. Now, if you're playing against a very good team on this map, it's going to be really hard for you to break the hills because there's so many steps you can have. You really only need, the only way to really hold it effectively, however, is to have one person on it, similar to Hardpoint, one person on it, and then people around it. But that means it takes forever to capture. The only reason I would say do that rather than stack the point, obviously, if you got 3 or 4 down, or even 2 or 3 down, stack the point because you can then just trade out and manage to cap the point eventually. But if you're not sure where they are, all jumping on the point might not be the best idea straight away, because I know, for example, well, Not as much for B, but for A, there are so many entry points into the hard, I keep calling it the hard point, into the hill, into the control point, whatever you want to call it. They can just fly through. They can go through P5. They can go through the windows. They can go through tank door, double door, back door. Then you can get into each of the closets through the window. So it is a proper shit show. And the only way to effectively sort of manage the map control around that point is simply due to the fact that simply by having control of the area around it rather than all of it being in it. That's my 2 cents anyway. And I found that to be quite effective. Obviously, if you do get 3 or 4 down. After that, stack it. But until that point, until you know where the enemies are, stay off of it, because otherwise you're just going to get picked up. I mean, if you have got a really good team and you are very confident in everyone's individual performances, there is no harm for stacking it and then hoping your teammates just trade out the kills. But at the end of the day, if the enemy team are able to get the first kill and you're all 4 on it and you trade, the enemy team are going to be the last one standing. So it's not an ideal situation. I'm using a sub on this map at the moment, and for me personally it works best because both the capture points are in the hill, so it means I can play a bit more impactful a role on the map. But I have played with a very good AR on this map as well, and it is an AR's dream. You can sit top 3, you can sort of chill, pick people off, you can sit top 5, you can sit the other side of top 3. You can sit long haul over when you've only got 8 B to get. There's so many long lines of sight, and you can really lock the map down if you've got 2 solid ARs here. But me personally, I prefer having an SMG because it means I can make, as I say, be impactful, get on the point, so on and so forth. Now, I don't know whether I mentioned to you guys, this is actually a 3-0 win. So if you want to model any control game off of any gameplay, I'd probably recommend doing this. Now, we did contemplate going A off the bat here. Because they might expect us to be challenging this like we are now, because we did it the first round. But at the end of the day, in my opinion, it's very unlikely. I think I'm gonna name my teammate there. I think it's very unlikely for them to send no one at A. So if we all 4-stack B, chances are we're going to outnumber them easily. So right here, I know that our teammates are sort of all dead around B, so I'm just sort of playing my life, because if I can get some sort of kills here, I'm relatively close to streaks. I hate that. Mantling. If I could offer you guys one tip on movement, little hint, videos coming out of movement coming up hopefully soon. But yeah, if I can offer you one tip, is don't bloody mantle. I mean, I know to get through window sills, sometimes you have to mantle, but it'd be much more beneficial for you to sort of aim your jump to land right on top of it rather than mantling over it, so on top of the window ledge rather than climbing over it. That way your character makes less noise, and that way you don't have that awful mantle animation, which just sucks because it can get you killed so frequently because it makes your time to shoot speed really slow. So when I said capping A, we've got a couple players around the point. We've got someone on top, which is perfect because we need that top A control. We've got a teammate, and I'm sort of playing a bit unpredictable here. As I said earlier in the video, unless you've got a couple people down or you know where the enemies are, you don't want to 4-stack it. So what I was doing there was playing that unpredictable character, really being that annoying guy, while at least one of us were on the point, one to stop the clock and one to keep progress on the hill, because at the end of the day you win by getting ticks, don't you? So we're up on lives pretty well. We're up by 4 lives. Bloody hell. I'm an accountant and I can't work out 18 minus 14. We're up by about 4 lives here, and we've only got B to get, which is pretty good. So I was trying to work out the spawn trap here. Now, this was the first game I realised that they sort of changed the spawn slightly, and I'm sort of waiting for them to just run through here. But I think if we're here, they spawn further towards B. I can't recall. It's a bit of a haze in my opinion. But I think they are, because this is really new. The pros are still testing it. It is meant to be played in the major coming next week. So I think Sledgehammer, or it's not Sledgehammer, sorry. Is it Sledgehammer? Sledgehammer or Treyarch are really trying to implement fixes into the spawns as quickly as possible here. So you play Berlin one game. You play Berlin one game, one day. You play it the next. The spawns could be completely different. At least that's what I found, because I played when Rank Play Season 3 first dropped. And then I played again on Saturday, just gone, which is what this is from. and the spawns were slightly different. It was a little bit harder to read. There were a lot more. I don't know what that was about. Let's pretend we didn't see that, eh? I don't know what it was about, but the spawns were a lot more rigid. Now, we've got 26 seconds left, and we need to capture the point. We're up 2 lives, and we know where, and we've got 3 down. Now, we're sort of chilling here. Ah, poor lad, I don't know what he was doing. And I fucked up the jump. Fucked up the jump. 6 versus 3. As long as one of us is on a point at any time, we're happy. 62 on the point. The biggest thing here is to make sure at least we're all on the point at once. That way the clock stops. But yeah, there it is. What are your thoughts on Berlin Control? It'll be interesting for you guys to let me know. And do you enjoy the little montage, little thing at the beginning of the game? It was something I thought I'd throw in because they were good clips and I didn't want them to not be in a video at all. So yeah, enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Ciao.